Mindset is everything. Unknown. Joy, clarity, confidence, commitment, uncertainty, daily habits. All of it plays into mindset, and we are talking about it all on today's episode. Welcome to the Stitched for Success podcast, where we are teaching business and life lessons that will help you launch, grow, or scale your creative business. I am Monica Allen, and I'm a wife, mom, daughter, entrepreneur, author, friend, lifelong learner, and host of this podcast. For over 8 years, I was stuck in corporate and dreamt of escaping. Creating a side hustle with just $700 and having taken the leap over 15 years ago, we have since grown multiple six-figure and seven-figure brands. Being an entrepreneur for over 18 years has afforded me many successes and a few failures. I want to share those with you so you can grow and be successful in your business. This podcast episode is brought to you by Zeus's Closet. We like to say we're like a tattoo shop for your clothes. We are currently offering a solopreneur package so you can get your own company gear. Save 20% off by simply using the promo code STITCHED. The link to the package is in the show notes. You are your biggest brand ambassador. Make sure you embrace it and show up wearing your logo so people remember and know who you are. On the past few episodes, I really wanted to focus on mindset. As an entrepreneur, as a human being, your mindset sets the stage for your success or failure. Today, I bring you the second part of my conversation with Nina Obier. If you missed the first part, please check out episode 61. Nina Obier is the CEO and founder of Success Simplified. Nina is known for being a business strategist and the original funness facilitator. She enjoys coming alongside mompreneurs to simplify their business model, message, and method so they can make a living while having a joy-filled life. Now, that is Nina's brief bio, but don't get it twisted. The gems that Nina drops in this episode are for any and all entrepreneurs. Really, they're for any and all people. So take a listen. So one of the things that when I read your bio, Nina, I love how you describe your zone of genius, which is clarity, confidence, and commitment. Why are these three elements so important, do you feel, in entrepreneurship, or I don't know, is it important in life as a whole?
Oh, Monica, do you really want to know? Because it just came up in my Bible in a Year podcast about this really weird. Many of us kind of, I think it's just part of life. There is uncertainty in life, right? There is uncertainty in life. And yet there is a way to not be paralyzed by that uncertainty. And so I think that's why it became and has become so important to me, that clarity piece. And it's, as we were describing before, the clarity that you truly do gain from being mindful, from being quiet, from being just within, right? From going within and being able to discern, okay, that doesn't feel right. And even though I can look and see that everyone else on the planet is doing it this way and is quote unquote successful, it's a push for me. It's a push for me. And I know that when I push, it doesn't mean that maybe things won't happen. But for me, what I want to impose on people, those things can happen with grace and ease when they are clear, right? Clear. And so also clarity doesn't come in, I know every single next step I'm going to take, or that I have all the steps written down and I'm ready and I'm just going to check them off. Because guess what? You take one step and then you have to see what comes out of it, right? And then you get to look at your next step and say, well, wait a minute, I don't even have to take that next step. This is where it's guiding me next. Okay, let me take that next step. And I think what happens with people, so this is where the confidence piece comes in. They get they get the notion of, okay, I'm to do this. I'm to reach out to Monica because she says she needs people on her podcast, right? I have a story to share. I have a message to share. And yet I don't reach out to her because, oh, you know what? My second step is I really should have my bio ready to go. And until I have my bio ready to go, I cannot be on Monica's podcast. Uh, what? No, no, no. Reach out to Monica because you heard her say something and something in her or something and I'm saying right now. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm listening to this. My heart is pounding. I have a story to share. I can help other entrepreneurs. Oh, yes, what you just said. Oh my gosh, I can take that to a deeper level. I can take clarity, confidence, and commitment to a deeper level. I need to be on Monica's podcast. And then you don't reach out to Monica because you think you have to have all those other things in place, you've put a kink in your hose. You've put a kink
Wow.
in your hose. You're not going to flow.
I love that. And the reason I love that is because entrepreneurship is not a check in the box, just straight down the row. There's opportunities that come across your desk or come across your phone, or you just never know. And if you don't have the confidence to go after it, you could really miss something really big. Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really like that. I really like that.
So
And one,
it's really that simple. I have like 2 steps and then I have 3 things to avoid and then you go.
wow, Nina. Okay. So clarity, confidence, and commitment. And I know you talk in your business, Success Simplified, you talk about that from 3 aspects: daily habits, mindset, and personal accountability. Talk to me about daily habits, because for me, I'm not a very consistent person and I keep saying I'm going to get better, I'm going to get better. But talk to me about daily habits, especially from an entrepreneur standpoint. What does that look like for you?
Great question. And what I love about daily habits is this: one at a time, one at a time, right? Because you're going to get, listen, there's enough information out there already that we don't even really need to have this conversation, right? The Google and the YouTube are out there, right? And they're
Right.
giving you all this information. And oh, guess what? It could be information overload, and too much information is too much, right? So it's not just knowledge is power, and I didn't create this quote. It's applied knowledge is power. So with daily habits, and I'm just going to tell you my story because it became so apparent that it was something I wanted to implement right in my life. And I can look back and say that I'm a pretty structured person because I believe structure actually gives you room for spontaneity because it gives you more time.
Mm.
How about flip the narrative, right? Because I have this structure, because I take care of certain things, there's more, right? There's more time to do the other things. So you all heard the beginning of my story, right? Oh no, let me go do the dishes. Oh no, let me go. And I don't even like to clean because when I was in the hotel industry, I can't tell you how many times they kept putting me back in housekeeping and in charge of housekeeping. The last thing I want to do is clean another toilet or make another bed. But anyways, I digress. So daily habits, I believe, start one at a time. And so to get good at that one, and then add another. And again, that was taught to me. So it's just like I'm saying everything about your business, everything about your life, everything about your kids, everything. So what is the one thing that you feel like it's going to have the greatest impact or momentum for you? There's a book called The One Thing. If I'm being honest, it's on my shelf. I know the high level highlights of it, and just having the high level highlights of it changed my life. So for me, and this was another coach, a friend of mine, her name is Stephanie, and she challenged me about water. She challenged me about water. And I said, I drink water. I only drink water. I don't drink soda. I gave up unsweet iced tea. Look at me. Well, I drink vodka too. But anyways, okay, I only drink and I put water in my vodka. But anyways, okay, I digress. I like to have fun, people. Okay, so water. And then she challenged me what it looked like to truly drink the amount of water you're supposed to drink. This was years ago, by the way, kind of before it was like such a super cool thing, right? And I know this because I implemented it into my second book, which is already 5 years old. So take note on that. And so I took the challenge, and that was it. That was really the only thing I did. And the benefits from drinking the amount of water that is required, I'll even say it, or that is suggested for you to drink, I couldn't get over. I could not get over the benefits. So that was the one greatest thing I could do, because then what shifted? Oh my gosh, I had more literal clarity in my head. I felt more energetic. I felt more like things were shifting energy wise, health wise. I was already, felt like I was healthy, but whole new level, whole new level. And once I got that under wraps, I'm like, all right, what's the next greatest thing I personally could do? What next habit could I personally do that was going to be a game changer? And for me, so it's part of my process, was to move my body and to be consistent in moving my body. And for me, walking was a great thing. And I did what another one of my mentors taught me, Dana Wild, was to habit stack. So I stacked a habit because I wanted to continue to build on my relationship with my husband. As the kids were getting older, I didn't want to be a statistic. Like I wanted us to stay together, right? And so I got him to walk with me. Right? Oh my gosh, it was like revolutionary. So now imagine I'm drinking the water, drinking the water, drinking the water. Now I'm moving my body, I'm walking. I habit stack being with my husband. Okay, can you feel the energy? Can you already feel the shift? So to me, you got to look at the habits. And sometimes we want to go straight to, right, the business part of it, or the managing our family part of it, or the volunteering part of it, when really it's yourself. And are you being the highest, greatest version of yourself? And if not, what one habit could you implement that then will have the greatest impact? And then once you get that one down to a science, now you stack the next habit on it.
Wow, Nina. Oh my gosh. Okay. So what I like about that is it's as simple as water. But what is your habit that's as simple as water? You've given me something to ponder over. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Okay. So I know you talk a lot about joy. You and I had the pleasure of meeting on Clubhouse. I've met so many great women on Clubhouse. And I met you in the Cup of Joy room, the Cup of Joy Club, actually, that you started, which is beautiful. Where does joy fit into all of this? What is the ultimate goal when it comes to joy? Or is that the ultimate goal? Joy.
Wow. What a powerful, powerful question. When I think of joy, or when I talk about joy, or when I embrace joy, again, in my humble opinion, that truly is an inside job. And even though so many things, right, on the outside, so many people on the outside, so many blessings on the outside can bring you happiness, right? Can bring you positivity, can put a smile on your face. Joy to me is a whole nother level, And I say that as just recently, a friend of mine who I met through my Emmaus journey, which was something I did almost 10 years ago, that if I'm being like, okay, let's just lay it on the line, that experience was the ultimate game changer. On hearing of her passing, actually last week, In complete transparency, I can tell you, I simultaneously held the space for sorrow and for joy. And for joy. So when you can get to that level of peace, of again, it's such a simple concept in my humble opinion, and that joy that you can, it's not just being grateful for things. It's not just saying thank you to God. It's truly just that knowing. It's a place of knowing these experiences that you get to have, this moment by moment life that we have. There is such joy in it, even or especially sometimes in the sorrow. Because I believe like everything in life is happening for us. So, we were talking before offline. I collaborate with another amazing, powerful coach. I'm a team member of hers, right? So as much as I have my own business, I'm blessed that I get to bless somebody else's business. And before we were on here, I inadvertently closed out an online meeting. The meeting wasn't done. I needed to leave quietly, as they say in Clubhouse, but instead I ended it abruptly. Something as small as that, I want you to think about that for a minute when that happens to you. Where do you go automatically? Do you go automatically that you want to beat yourself up, that you want to be in shame, that you want to, I made a mistake, I can't show my face again in that? No, I found the joy in it, right? I laughed it off. I apologized. I asked for forgiveness, right? That brought me joy, to be honest, to be humble, to be all of those things. Like, so joy for me, we could talk about this all day long. It's a journey. It's a journey. And I believe that journey starts with you. And that when you can get, I know I was reading this just recently, the most powerful thing you can do is to learn to be with you and have that love for who you were designed and created to be, so that you can be showing up for other people as your highest, greatest self. That's where I think we can serve best.
The reason I wanted to bring up joy too, Nina, is because as an entrepreneur, I think we can all walk through times and spaces where we're not joyful. And it's often difficult to find the joy in certain circumstances. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring up joy, because, if you have to lay off team members, or you're going through a downturn and the numbers aren't flowing the way you need them to be able to find joy in that can be hard. Just
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. If I can just touch on that for a second,
Please.
if time is permitting. So if you want something tactical for that, this was something that one of my mentors taught me. In that moment when that is happening, you totally have to feel your feelings. Don't ever get me wrong, the real feelings. And it's little by little, a little becomes a lot. That's a Tanzanian proverb, that you get to shift from it. But if you first don't feel it, right? And I'm not feeling it, and this is how I'm feeling. And if you want to tactically shift from that, there's a couple things you can do. I like to take out a piece of paper, whatever paper I can find. Sometimes it's a napkin, and I write on the top of it what's going right. Because there's always something going right. And then I actually write it down. Yep. Old-fashioned Nina, piece of paper and a pencil, piece of paper and a pen. Because you know what? There's actually scientific backing how important it is to get it out of your head. And the way to effectively get it out of your head is with the tactical paper and pen. Now, if you only have your phone and you need to type notes on it, go ahead. But I highly recommend putting pen to paper. The other thing is, again, feel your feelings and then know what gives you a shift in energy. It could be a dance party with yourself. It could be walking outside and putting your toes in the grass, or if you live by the sand, your toes in the sand, or it could be going to take a nap. I claimed this the other day. I don't tell enough people. I nap my way to success. I love to nap, and I don't apologize for it. And guess what? It shifts my energy,
Mm.
shifts my energy. So listen, things are going to happen. I was just reading this morning, I may have already brought it up. Baseball, which my daughter's played softball, teaches us so much about quote unquote failure, right? Because a good baseball player has a 333 average or a 367 average. What does that mean? They only hit the ball every 1 in 3 times they're up to bat. So 2 out of 3 times they're, again, oh my gosh, failing because they're not hitting the ball. So, but they keep coming back and they keep getting up to bat and they keep going again. It's going to happen. I'm not going to pretend that you're not going to have feelings of disappointment or feelings of that didn't go the way I wanted it, or sadness or sorrow or other things around your life or your business. And you do need to feel those feelings, and you do need to love on yourself, and you get to love on yourself by choosing how you want to shift that energy.
Mm. Nina, thank you so much for sharing that, because sharing the tactical part, I do think is so important. And sometimes we get in our own way with that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for sharing that. And I do love to pop in your room and share my joy every now and again when I can do that.
I love it too. And so if you don't know us, if you don't go on Clubhouse, if you don't drop into the Cup of Joy room, it's such an easy concept. So it's another tactical. What's going right is really what we do. So we invite you up so that you can tell us, so we can celebrate you. Guess what? You can do that every day with your own life. We don't pause to celebrate enough. We just keep going. Oh my gosh, breathe, enjoy this life. Enjoy
Yes.
the gifts that you have. What's the hurry? I believe that when we slow down, we actually get to rev up. I'm on a journey to take as much time as possible in the morning before I go to my office. But when I get in my office, I get things done. And then
Right.
I'm done for the day.
That is really good, Nina. And I'm glad you said that. You know what? That's going to be a dinner exercise for me and the kids and my husband tonight. Is let's write down what's going right, because we have a lot of things that are going right, you know?
I love it.
So
Love
that's
it.
good. I like that so much. Okay, couple more questions and then I'm going to let you run. If there was one thing that you could go back and tell yourself when it comes to starting or operating your own business, what would it be?
One thing, I think I've narrowed it down to one thing. Okay, stop trying to be everything to everyone. Stop reinventing the wheel.
We like doing that.
I feel like whatever business you're in, I hate to be the one to disappoint you, but it's probably not new, right? The way you're doing it, because you are new and you are the unique factor, is totally cool. But I know with my second business, because it was training and development, coaching and speaking, oh boy. And since I came from a training and development background, I wanted to create all the content for every human on the planet. Oh my gosh. It was ridiculous. I bogged myself down. I overcomplicated things. And guess what? A confused buyer doesn't buy, right? A complicated message lands flat. And so it's not that I wasn't successful, but it was painful. It was painful now that I look back. And now that I have completely simplified my business, it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Very good. Okay. So we're all going to take that. We're going to take that advice, Nina. So how important do you think mindset is as being an entrepreneur? How important is your mindset?
Oh my gosh. Let's just take a breath on that one. Let's go ahead and claim it. It's everything. I mean, I am going to put that much weight on it. And it wasn't until I really learned from my master brain trainer, Dana Wild. I highly recommend you look her up. I've known her now more than 10 years. I probably should have written down when I met her. And the things that she taught me about what words I was using, both in my head and then the words that I was speaking. Oh, and now the keen ear that I have for it, like I've always known I've been an exceptional listener. And now that I have that knowledge of the mindset piece, I really feel like it not only changes my life, both personally and professionally, but it changes my client's life because I could just be listening to their conversation and pick out the word that is totally shifting the energy, that is totally like, and we don't realize it. So, oh my gosh, the gift of the awareness. And I have not, listen, I haven't cracked the whole code. I'm totally human. I have my ups and downs, things happen. But what we just talked about, that what's going right is a huge shifter right away. And the ability to set the intentions, all those things, I'm a total fan. And it's interesting because it wasn't new to my life. I'm having some flashbacks because I just recently moved and I'm unpacking more of my books and I'm seeing these books and what year they were and that books that my mom gave me. So she passed it down to me and it's like, oh my gosh, this has always been in me. So I guess to go all the way back to my story, those moments when I was feeling like the hotel industry was not for me, gosh, how I wish there was someone, who held the belief for me for a moment so that I could believe in me. And again, I wouldn't trade my journey, but I see where I could have maybe made that leap of faith a little bit earlier. So if you're hearing this mindset piece, if you're skeptical or if you don't believe in it, or if you do believe in it, whatever the case may be, I believe there's something there for you to research. And remember, Google and YouTube are your friends.
They are your friends. That's very true. So, Nina, tell people how they can get in touch with you.
Well, I am loving spending time on Instagram. And why do I love it? Because I feel like you can just be yourself. You can be totally personal, totally open. I love being on stories. So if you want to see more of my silliness, if you want to see our doggy, because now that our adult daughters are grown, or if you love happy hour, you can always find me sharing something about that. So Instagram is the place to find me.
All right, Nina. Very good. And I will also include some additional information about Nina in the show notes, some of her books, as well as some more information about her business. So you can check Nina out. Thank you so much for joining me today, Nina.
Thank you, Monica. It was a pleasure.
I'm going to stop recording and I'm going to. For the most part, in my life, I think I have it pretty together. However, Nina left me with so many things to think about, things that can help me be better and grow more, not only as an entrepreneur, manager, and business leader, but also as a wife, mom, and just a human being. Some of my takeaways from Nina are, first, you don't have to have it all figured out. Oftentimes, we want to check a box and move on to the next box, but entrepreneurship is simply not a straight line. 2, daily habits start with one at a time. So ask, what's the one thing or habit that will have the greatest impact for you? And after that, what next habit would be a game changer? And figure out how you can possibly stack them. I love the concept of habit stacking. Also, ask yourself, what is going right? What's your cup of joy? And take time to celebrate that. I absolutely love that. Figure out what gives you a shift in energy. I've got to give this one some thought because I don't really know what that is for myself. Though I do love a good dance party, I don't necessarily know if that one's mine, but I do need to give that one some thought. What shifts your energy? And lastly, keep your messaging simple. A confused buyer will not buy. This is a takeaway for an entire podcast episode. I want to thank Nina again for becoming a part of the Stitched for Success family and sharing her insight. You can find Nina's book links and contact information in the show notes. Thanks so much for joining me today. I am grateful that you took the time to listen. I decided to wrap up this season with mindset because, again, it is so important to have the right mindset if you're just getting started on your entrepreneurial journey or if you're well on your way. There will be times when your clarity, your joy, your confidence, your mental strength, your finances, your business, and more are tested. But I pray that these past few episodes will help you press on regardless. We will be kicking off Season 3 on August 13th. In the meantime, please check out some previous episodes. It is difficult for me to pick favorites, but if you're just getting started in your business or you are an aspiring entrepreneur, check out our Business Masterclass episodes, which are 9, 12, 13, 14, and 17. For those of you who are more established, check out my series with Jennifer Grayer. She brought us so many lessons from the failure of her first business. Check out episodes 25 through 28. And lastly, if you work with your spouse, be sure to listen to episode 42 and 41. And though I may be away from the podcast, you can still follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Stitched for Success, where I love to post business tips, share business inspiration, and a bit of my life as well. As we prepare to bring you topics for next season, please feel free to DM me on Instagram and let me know if there's a topic you would like me to cover. Some of the topics we will cover next season is minding your business finances, what type of insurance you need to make sure you protect you and your business. We will talk about hiring. This is pretty tough right now, and so much more. So I look forward to returning in just a few weeks. If you already subscribe to the podcast, thank you so much for being a supporter. If not, please take a minute to subscribe and rate. You can rate the podcast on Apple or on Audible. I would also appreciate you sharing the podcast with any friends or family that you think would benefit from the information provided. And before I let you go today, I want to leave you with this quote. Everything starts within your own mind. Your thoughts, attitude, and determination are all essential for success. Thanks again for tuning in today, and have a great one.